Hello everyone, this is D Nice over here at the Print Aware Bookstore in Portsmouth, VA, and it is time for a word. No, it's not. It's time for Bookstore Shenanigans. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been doing a series called A Word from the Printed Word, and I did an announcement today, so now my brain is messed up. Anyway, let's actually jump back into Bookstore Shenanigans. So this episode is going to have to do with Women's History Month. And it's not going to be super grandiose. I don't know what has been happening, so I've got to give you guys this little disclaimer as to why I haven't been regularly dropping the Women's History Month content. It's because it's a me thing. Obviously, it's not a Women's History Month thing. It's a me thing. I've just been feeling super uninspired, not because of our lack of selection. It's just in general in my life, I've been struggling to read right now because either I just fall asleep or I just really have been having a very difficult time focusing. It's like, it's the thing where you read the same thing over and over again. You're like, what did I just read? Or it's the thing where it's like, I am reading, but I'm not really present. And so it's been happening all month, and I don't know what's going on, guys. So that's why the content hasn't been as regular as before. But I'm in a bookstore. I work at a bookstore. I love being by all these books, and I want to be well read. So this is something I'm just gonna have to accept as a phase of my life right now, and we're gonna have to just trudge through it for the sake of books, literacy, reading. It's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. And so I should love it. I should be eager to do it. And so prayerfully, this is just a phase, and I'm just gonna work my way through it. But I'll give you guys a brief Bookstore Shenanigans today about a book that I picked concerning women's history. It is Having Our Say, the Delany Sisters' First 100 Years. So these two sisters are, both of them are over 100 years old. I think one of them is 101 at the time of this book. One of them was 101 and the other one was 103, guys. Isn't that absolutely insane? So I figured for Women's History Month, I might as well get this really good duo here. And that way I have probably actually over 200 years of history because it's the both of them. And so I'm not going to go too deep into their entire history because obviously get the book or just look up the Delany Sisters. You're going to see some random stuff on YouTube and just watch some of the videos just to get an idea as to who they are and what they did. And just to get a better sense of who the Delany Sisters were, because unfortunately they have both passed away now, but we all have our time. But both of them lived to be over 100 years old, and that is crazy. So for the Delany Sisters having our say, what I actually wanted to talk about for this Women's History Month is this is a very interesting read for me, because I think it's written just really well. I got about halfway through. It's not too long of a read. It's very, very concise. And I just like it because these are two very, very, very close sisters, but they're so different. Their personalities are just completely just like night and day. So Sadie is the older sister and Bessie is the younger sister, and they're 2 years apart. And Sadie has a very calm, cool, demure personality. And they grew up in a time, obviously, their father was born into slavery. And they grew up in a time with a lot of Jim Crow stuff, racial tension, a lot of issues happening during the time in which they were growing up. And so how they would handle situations differed depending on which sister you're talking to. So with Sadie, the older one, she would kind of feign ignorance, right? She would just pretend like, oh, I have no idea what's going on, la, 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 la. And they'd be like, you're so silly. You don't know anything. But really, in actuality, she knew everything. And so one of the stories that she talked about that was very interesting was there was a shoe store. And during the Jim Crow era, the black people had to try on shoes in the back and the white people got to try on shoes in the front. And it was not the store owner's fault. He wasn't super racist or anything like that, but it was the law at the time. And so she goes in there and she's like, Mister, can I try on the shoes? And he's like, okay, go in the back. And she's like, go where? And he's like, go in the back. And she's like, go where? And he's like, in the back. And she's like, where? And he's like, you know what? Try them on wherever. And she stayed in the front in the front section where the white people were, and she tried the shoes on. So I'm like, that is such a good example of like, wouldn't have thought of that as a way to like fight the system or like overcome what other people would see as a barrier that you can't possibly, like, it's the law, you can't break the law. Like, something like that is just something that I'm just like, wow, would I have the mental capacity to think of that? And I just think it's such a win. You know, it was such a win during that time. And so that was her personality. Meanwhile, her sister Bessie, they called her Queen Bess, I think, or Queen Bessie. And she was a very, very outspoken woman. She was very tough, you know, and so it's just amazing that they were only 2 years apart and they're sisters, right? And you know, sisters butt heads and stuff like that. But it's like, it's just amazing how close they ended up being. They were like best friends pretty much since the younger sister was born. How close they ended up being, considering how different their personalities are. So one thing is that I think Bessie would joke that I don't know if I'll make it to heaven. You know, Sadie nice, she nice, I'm mean. But we all know it's nothing that you can do to earn your way to heaven, right? As long as you believe in Jesus Christ and proclaim him as your Lord and Savior in your heart, that, you know, the birth, the death, and the resurrection all happened, and that is truth to you, and you confess, like, you're good, you're covered. And so they joked about it, but I'm like, you know, as long as you trust in Jesus Christ, you're good. So she's good. But it's like I said, I just really like the way it reads because it's like not an interview, but more like a really good historical obviously that's what it is. It's a linear historical retelling of both of their histories, in both independently, together, and from afar. So let me explain that. The way it's set up is that some chapters are Sadie, and then other chapters are Bessie, and then other chapters are both of them, and then other chapters is like we zoom out and it's kind of giving us more historical context, or familial context that like really is just more of giving us details about the time period we're about to talk about or the situation we're about to talk about. And so I think it was just really nice to break it up that way, because like you get kind of a change in tone depending on who's giving their side of the story. They play off of each other if it's both of them. And so I just think it's just such an interesting book. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Having Our Say, the Delany Sisters, first 100 years, but this is actually a really good read. And prayerfully, I can get out of this reading funk so that I can finish reading it, because it is quite entertaining. And they have quite an interesting, like, abnormal upbringing. Something that I'm just like, what are we doing in 2026? Because there's always just so much against these people, so much stacked up against them, and yet they thrive. You know, they thrive. All throughout the book, they kept saying that they had no money. They were raised with no money. Their parents had 10 children. 10 children. And they kept saying that they grew up with no money. They grew up with no money. And yet they were both college educated. Neither of them ever married. But it's like you don't feel the world's against me, everybody hates me, I can't get ahead because this and this and this and this and this and this and this is against me. No, not from these women. These women have lived too long and been through too much to have that as a crutch, to have that as a ball and chain, right? Like they just persevered. And I'm just like, how did that happen? And so some of it is laid out in this book, but it's like, I know there's just so much that they lived through and persevered through that's not included in here, because it's just, there's so much that was against them. And also so much that it's like the Lord's invisible hand, once again, just placing them exactly where they need to be with the right people at the right time that put everything in alignment, so that despite everything that was happening during the period of time in which they were alive, they were able to be such prominent women of faith. And so that is it for my little spiel about the Delany Sisters. Like I said, we have only one copy of this book in the bookstore available right here in Portsmouth, VA, the printed word. And I would recommend it. I think it was been a really, really good book. And if you don't have the patience to read right now, I would recommend just looking them up and just watching some short clips on YouTube as well. But that's it for this episode of Bookstore Shenanigans. I hope you guys enjoyed. And prayerfully, we can wrap up Women's History Month. If everything goes according to plan, I have a surprise for you guys. But if not, this will be probably the last episode for Women's History Month. But it's been great, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. And until next time, all I have to say is, this has been D Nice over here at the Printed Word Bookstore in Portsmouth, VA. Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. Bye, y'all.